I don't know about you, but I'm often feeling like I could really use a quick win in this art making game. Like a winning project that has a really high likelihood of success and is super quick to create to boot. Are you with me? Today, I have just that quick win for you, and don't blink because it happens just that quick. Today, you're going to need your favorite watercolor paper. Use what you have, use what you love, a palette of your favorite pigments, and you guessed it, a favorite brush. I'm using Arch's watercolor paper cold press. I'm using the Art for Joy's Sake watercolor palette, and of course, some of the brushes from my Art for Joy's Sake collection of brushes. And a little fun teaser for you, there's going to be like no color mixing if you want it to be that way. I'm not mixing colors. I'm just gonna like pull whatever I have on my palette. So it's gonna be a good time. I'm using my 1/4" dagger, and we are going to start with the ribbon on the bouquet. You're gonna make 2 smiley faces with blue or whatever color you'd like, and then add a little water to your brush in between the smiley faces and connect them. And then a few little long press, drag, and lift strokes to create those tassel-y like ribbon ties. Then spray down a good amount of space above your ribbon. This is going to be where your bouquet flowers fill in. And then dab in your first favorite color. Literally, friends, dab it in, and then just let gravity in the environment take over and spread that color around. Rinse your brush, and then grab your next favorite color. I'm using peach. Instead of dabs, these are a little bit more like stroke and lift, stroke and lift. Then you're gonna head in with, you guessed it, your 3rd favorite color, and these are dabs again, but this time around, the dabs aren't making the color explode as much because the water on the page is starting to dry. Okay, time to rinse that brush because we're going from purple to a green. Grab your favorite green, and you want that brush to be pretty wet with color and water. Then head underneath that ribbon that you painted. Be careful not to touch that blue too much, or else you could get a lot of color bumping and explosions, and just a few simple downstrokes of different width to create your stems. Then head back into your bouquet above the blue ribbon with that same green, or a different green if you'd like. You're probably going to need to reload, and then you're going to add a few little dashes and dabs of color that represent kind of leafy moments throughout the bouquet. If you feel the need, you can rinse your brush and go back in with some more color and fill in some of those areas. Now, here's the thing, friends. The resulting look of this is happening because some of the area that you sprayed is wet and stays wet. Some of the areas within that bouquet shape didn't get any water on them and they're dry, and that's creating a really nice contrast of textures. So let that happen. In my opinion, let that happen. You could always go in and make all the wet area of that bouquet shape above the ribbon uniformly wet, but I would suggest to let whatever happens, happens, and enjoy all of that different contrast of texture. All right, here's a really important step. At this point, I want you to set this bad boy aside and let it dry. Now, about a half an hour maybe. If you want to speed things up, grab yourself a hair dryer and you can just dry things, but be careful with the hair dryer because if things are really wet, that paint can start to move and groove. But however you make it happen, you want to let this bad boy dry before moving on to the next step. All right, now that everything's dry, we're basically going in and adding a second layer, and this layer is going to be more detailed. The lines are going to be crisp, things aren't going to bleed. I'm going in with my favorite green and adding some more of those dashes and dabs and little squiggles to just make this bouquet area fuller. Then I'm going to grab that green a little bit more loaded on my brush and define those stems underneath the blue ribbon, just more lines over top with a darker paint saturation. I'm gonna rinse my brush. I'm gonna do the same thing for the ribbon. The ribbon really got kind of squishy, mushy. Everything started blending into everything else. And so I'm going over top with some definition lines to really make this look like a beautiful silk ribbon that is bound around these gorgeous stems. And then rinse your brush and go in with the red and make some of those red splotches look like daisies, which is basically a press and lift around an invisible center over and over. You can make some look like their side view. Friends, the point here is to move quickly, instinctively. This is a super juicy, loosey-goosey watercolor style. Rinse your brush and go in with your next favorite color. Mine is purple, and I'm making kind of these like little C-curve press press and lift marks that almost look like they could be a side view of a tulip or a little bit of a rose petal. Very, very simple strokes that have a lot of impact in filling out the space. Rinse your brush again and add some green curlicues. They are not going to be perfect. They shouldn't be perfect. They should match the casual style of the rest of your piece here. But look at how they're doing a gorgeous job of filling in, and then just some really loose squiggles. Oh, let me know, friends. Are you enjoying this? I hope you are. Head into comments and give me a heck yes if you are. A few things I want you to remember, friends, as you give this quick win watercolor project a try. Number one, go ahead and watch this video, the how-to part of it, a few times, at least one more time, and just kind of get it in your brain. And that way you don't feel like you don't know what you're doing and you don't have to keep referring back to the video. You don't even have to paint along with me. As a matter of fact, I'd suggest that you don't paint along with me because I want you to make this your own and be really proud of it. Number two, and this is just a reminder, use the colors you love. Use the palette you have. You don't need anything special or specific. Number three, if you feel the instinct to make it mixed media, maybe add some pen, some fine detail illustration over top, go for it. This is your quick win. You do you, boo. Let me know, friends, are you going to give this a try? Head into comments. Tell me what colors you think you might be using. I'm curious what combinations you have in mind. And while you're at it, go ahead and give this video a boop. That's a like. It's going to help other people find this video who might also need a quick win in their art journey. And if you like painting bouquets, I've got a really fun one for you that uses some of the most simplest art supplies that exist. And it's a pretty shocking one. So go ahead and take a look. Until next time, friends, I wish you tons and tons of happy painting. Yeah, I'm going to stop that now. But yeah, seriously, happy painting.